Let's talk Tanya for the 11th of Shevat. So we finished talking about Achdus Hashem, God's unity, and what that means according to Chassidus. We finished also talking about Avodah Zarah. Just a brief interlude, take a moment to remind ourselves why we're here. The larger topic, the larger conversation is we're still trying to figure out how to leverage the hidden love that every single one of us has for Hashem so that it is usable in our everyday life and our everyday battle against the animal soul. But we'll tie up all those loose ends in another 2-3 chapters. For now, we spoke about again Achdus Hashem, Avodah Zarah, and there was one very important point that we mentioned over the last few days, which is that the reason why there is klipa, there is Avodah Zarah, why there's idolatry, why there's this distorted view that we have that there is something other or anything other than God, is because everything in this world comes from Achurayim Deratzon. Everything that we see in this world comes from the backside of God's will, which gives us this distorted view. However, where God's Pnimius Haratzon is revealed, where his essential desire is, over there is no distortion. And where there is no distortion, there is nothing other than God. Again, the possibility for something having a self-identity, viewing themselves or anything else as something separate from God, is only because of the Achurayim. Where is their Pnimius Haratzon? Where is this revelation of the innerness of God's will? That is in Torah and in Mitzvos. The Torah, there's nothing distorted about it. It's God's wisdom, plain and simple. It is God's will. When he says, I want you to light Shabbos candles, I want you to put up a mezuzah, there's nothing distorted about that. That is absolutely 100% what God essentially wants. So when we're studying Torah, that is engaging in God's Pnimius Haratzon, the most internal of God's will. And the same thing is mitzvahs. When we are doing mitzvahs, the same thing is happening. We are right now engaging in and becoming subsumed in God's Pnimius Haratzon. What happens when we are subsumed in God's Pnimius Haratzon? We lose our sense of identity. We lose our sense of separateness and sense of self because, as mentioned, the possibility for separateness is only because of Achurayim or Chitzonis Deratzon, the external elements of God's will. In Torah mitzvahs, that's not external, that's all internal. Essentially, every time we study Torah, every time we do a mitzvah, we are becoming included in, subsumed in God's unity. And it is the ultimate Achdus Hashem, it is the ultimate expression of and manifestation of God's unity in this world when we are studying Torah or doing a mitzvah. Now we can understand what we spoke about a few days ago. We said how the first of the 10 commandments, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, that is the foundation of all the positive mitzvahs. And now we understand why. Ultimately, every time we're doing a mitzvah, what is the larger, deeper idea in the mitzvah? Forget about the details and forget about the individual nature of what that mitzvah is. The larger point over here is that at the moment when you are doing the mitzvah, you are losing your own identity as separate from God, and you're becoming subsumed in godliness. Every mitzvah in that sense is the same. What we have over here is every single time we're doing a mitzvah, it is like we're casting a vote for Achdus Hashem, the unity of Hashem. We are allowing ourselves to be vehicles for and expressions of God's unity. That is the deepest truth of what every mitzvah is. Tomorrow, we will talk about Torah study and find out how Torah study is also an expression of God's unity, and actually to a greater extent even than doing mitzvahs.